Hi everyone, my name's Dr. John Daniel from Simi Psychological Group, and today I want to talk to parents about how to help your child if it seems like he's always complaining or feels overwhelmed by negativity all of the time. A lot of times we have families coming in where that's a big problem, and it seems like no amount of convincing or uh, reminding of all this good stuff that the child gets to experience and enjoy, and none of that seems to help them stay focused on that positive and get overwhelmed by the negativity, or that seems like that's all they talk about. um, and so today we'll be going over 5 tips to help if it seems like your child is going through some of that. So the first tip is try not to take it personally. A lot of times, as parents, we feel what's going on for our child is a reflection of ourselves. So, his complaining must mean I'm not a good parent, or sometimes it's more like I can't allow him to turn into a complainer as an adult. So I need to kind of get rid of this bad quality. And there's definitely truth to that, but the more we accept what we're seeing, what we're noticing, is something that's happening for our child and not something that's because of us or personal to us, even when some of the complaining sounds personal. um, the more we can help our child learn that there's things that they can do to deal with it, and the less we'll go into convincing mode or punishment mode too quickly. So the first tip, try not to take it personally. And then along those lines, the second tip is work on being able to validate what your child is experiencing, even though a lot of times it's not going to make any sense to your perspective on whatever's going on. Um, so, for example, it's homework time, and it's not that much homework today, but that doesn't seem to matter. It's, oh, homework time again, and complaining. And taking a little time to try to validate what your child, how your child is seeing that situation, can sound like, I know it's frustrating. You weren't done playing, and now it's time for homework. And what that can do is just take the intensity off of their frustration and hopefully make it less of a battle between them versus you. Um, and what else it can do is give them different type of language to use when they're frustrated or feel like something is negative, by you kind of modeling or translating for them what they might be feeling um, into words. So the more we can spend time trying to validate our our child's experience of what's going on, the more they can allow us to help them through some of the hard times or frustrating situations. Of course, there's going to be lots of times where they don't want to hear it. You could be doing that beautifully or saying just the right things, and they're not going to want to hear it. They're going to want to stay stuck. So we have to accept that too. So, tip number 3 is keep your feedback very simple and direct. So, especially after you've tried to kind of validate what they're going through or connect to a feeling, and they just seem to be in this mode of um, I'm gonna stew in the complaining, and there's nothing you can do about it. Um, you can give them feedback like, okay, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna walk away for a little bit, and I'll come check on you, or um, my choice is that I'm gonna be done talking about this right now, and just very simple, and then follow through with whatever you said. So you're gonna walk away and check on them, or um, decide that you're not going to keep indulging whatever the complaint is, uh, can be a helpful kind of message that I understand you're not ready to move on from this complaint, but I am, and you're not doing it in this judgmental way of you need to, or that's enough of that, or um, so on and so forth. So when you're giving feedback, try to keep it simple and direct. Then tip number 4 is outside of those moments of complaining, model what it can sound like, what it can look like to work through frustrations. So as adults, we have to watch ourselves. How are we talking about work? How are we talking about this person that wronged us, or this thing that happened, or the traffic that we're stuck in, or all of our adult frustrations? Are we complaining about those? And usually, at least in some aspects or some moments, the answer is yes. I know it's yes for me. And that's not necessarily the problem. It's how are we going to show our child how to work through those things, right? Um, so how do we say things like, but at least and then whatever follows that, or but I'm not going to focus on that. You know what I'm going to focus on? I'm going to focus on where we're going to get to go, not this traffic that we're stuck in. Just as an example. So how am I modeling working through my frustrations? And then in the moment with my child, we have to be careful not to complain about their complaining, right? So things like, you always do this, or why are you so negative all of the time, or um, that's us complaining about their habit of complaining. So we want to try to catch that and uh, try to focus on the last two steps that we talked about, of being able to validate what they're going through, and um, when necessary, just keeping the feedback simple and direct. And then the last tip is making gratitude a family goal. So this is important because it's not just going to highlight your child who might be struggling, and this is what you need to do. As a family, let's try to focus on the things we're grateful for. And the way that we can do that is either just pointing them out when we see them. Some families like to use a poster uh, to write in all the things they're grateful for that week. Sometimes it's taking turns at dinner. Whatever it is, it helps the whole family make that a goal of, we're going to focus more on gratitude than on negativity. And then what else it does, a lot of times children, especially the ones that tend to be complainers, they very naturally are tuned into all the negative. It's not necessarily a choice that they're so aware of all the negative stuff. So this kind of gratitude exercise just helps make them more aware of parts that they may be missing, of more positive aspects, things that they do get to enjoy, things that they are good at or looking forward to, or and as a family, you're all working toward paying more attention to that type of stuff. So hopefully these tips have been helpful, and as always, we're here to help. So feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you.